It has been 7 months now since Nigerian universities have been under lock and key as a result of the ongoing ASUU strike. And quite unfortunate, the strike action, which began in February 14, has lingered because federal government has refused to meet all their demands, and this has rendered most of the negotiations null. On Tuesday, the Minister of Education, Adamu, while speaking during the meeting with the vice chancellors and other stakeholders in the university, said the federal government could only afford 23.5% salary increase for lecturers, while 35% for the professorial cadre. He also noted that a sum of 150 billion naira shall be provided in the 2023 budget as funds for revitalization of federal institutions. However, this has yielded no results.
Here we are in University of Ibadan, and as you can see, it's very quiet and serene, which is very unusual. And this is due to the ongoing ASU strike, which has lingered for 7 months. We are here to get opinions from people as to how they feel about the strike, what effect it had on them, and how they are coping with the strike. Come along as we sample their opinions.
Regarding the strike, there is nothing in the campus as for now. There's no business, activities is not on, and hardly we make meet. You understand? Because of the strike, it affects us really really bad. So that's it. Before the strike, when students are on ground and everything activities, full activities is on ground, we make like at times 5,000, 10,000, depends on how the work comes.
Okay.
But now that there's no students, strike and everything, hardly we make 500 in a week. In a week, hardly we make 500 in a week. I pray they should just settle with the ASU and then call off the strike because the way things are going is really really bad. It's not good at all. The ones you saw here on campus are like people that come to play ball in the field, then come and do one or two things. That's it. There's nothing. You can't just find students on campus. You can't find students on campus. Everything to be back to normal as soon as possible. What I think the federal government can do is to like resolve the issue between the ASU and the federal government. They should just answer the ASU people so that they should just call off the strike and let all the activities resume back.
Not really. I'm 100% in support of what you just said.
Okay.
Talking about ASU and the federal government, for me, I'm really much in support of the strike. I know it's sort of hampering what we should have been doing at this very time, but then I come to realize that they're fighting for a better education system in Nigeria. If this is not contended with, we might be having subsequent strikes. And I know this is over 117 days already, and it's still on. So even if it would take 3, 4, 5 years just to have this whole thing ratified, I'm 100% supportive of it. Well, life is not, the totality of life is not just all restricted to attending schools or maybe education or whatever. Even if it's not gotten here, there are other places. So personally, I'm also working towards scholarship opportunities. So I might not really be waiting for ASO all day. So it's just like waiting for cows for pigs to fly as it stands at the moment. So one might even think of applying to foreign universities, which I know might be a little bit exorbitant. Well, you can also engage yourself, acquiring skills, digital skills. In fact, this is what really pays at the moment. People going on to learn digital skills and the rest of them.
Equally, the head of Department of Mycology and Applied Microbiology at the University of Ibadan, Professor Bolagade Jonathan, showed our correspondents from the Pendulum Media around the laboratory at the department. He states that there is an urgent need for a revitalization from the federal government, aside their unpaid salaries.
I am Professor Gbolagade Jonathan, Professor of Mycology and Applied Microbiology, University of Ibadan. We want to thank you for coming. This is how our lab looks like. I have tried to explain what is happening here, the essence for the strike. You know, it is as if uh, a man marries a wife and he cannot take care of that wife and decide to marry other two or three. There will be problem. We don't see any reason why federal government should be establishing more university while the other ones are not being funded. We are not fighting for our pockets alone. Can you see what we are using instead of conical flask? We are using jam bottle. Use jam bottle. And I don't know whether Mr. Israel is still there. Is washing some of those jam bottles instead of conical flask. And let me show you how conical flask supposed to look like. The one that we're supposed to we are using jam bottle. We bought all this one from Bodija Market. Can you see the lab is empty? No equipment. That's why we are asking for revitalization. The money is not going to our pocket. It's just for the government to fund the university, make the university to be standard. I came from US just last year. If you see this kind of a lab, I was also in India about 2-3 years ago. My fellow researcher, they said they want to visit me. I was preventing them because I know they'll be laughing at us when they come to this kind of. This is how our lab looks like. Okay, can you see? This is how our lab looks like. You can see this chemical. The chemicals have been there from ages. Many of these chemicals have been there since the time I was student in 1987. Many of these are. Can you see some of them are already solid? Will I use my personal salary to buy chemicals to teach students? That is what we are saying. There will be no electricity. We have some things that we keep inside the fridge that are supposed to be under cold. We keep our microorganisms, we keep some materials inside the refrigerator. Then there will be no light. We have never, in the last 20 years, we have never had 12 hours of electricity supply at the university. That's the essence of our struggle. Okay. But and another thing, people are saying that our own is too much. Let me explain to you. In 2009, when the agreement was signed, the government said they should give them 1 year to implement the agreement. Have not the members of ASUU, they waited till 2010. That was when the strike happened. Then government, we agree. You agree that you will do this, you will do this, you will do this. They did not. We will go on strike. Government will now say, oh, when people intervene, they will say in the next 3 months, I'll resume. We are going to meet all your agitation. In the next 3 months, when we resume, government will not do anything.
Still on the lingering ASUU strike bedeviling Nigerian universities, Associate Professor Dr. Kehinde Ayola of the Department of English, Obafemi Awolowo University, has also shared his thoughts and the states of ASUU to the general public during the program at the Pendulum Studio.
And they have already excluded us. And so now they push us out to the Almajiri class. We are not going to accept that. So until they give us something that's decent, we are not going to insist on maybe collecting 1 million naira per month or so, but we are going to take something decent. If it's not decent, then we are not going to accept it. So that's my own view. And I know my members, I know my colleagues, that they won't take such nonsense. And the government should stop behaving as if they are the bosses and we are their servants. We are all employees. Government belongs to all of us. And so they cannot be talking to us from a high horse and giving somebody 25%, 23%. And who are they talking to? No. We know our work. And let me tell you, many of us who are here by choice. I am working in Nigeria by choice. If I'm tired of working here, I know where to go. And many of our colleagues have the same option. They are very young. They do get offers abroad. So if you cannot give us, we're not saying you should give us the same thing that we get abroad. At least give us a quarter of what we could have got abroad. What we get abroad, we'll stay. But if you give us starvation wage, people will move and they're already moving. So we start teaching their children. Whatever. By the time this strike lingers on, more than half of us, if not two-thirds of us, will no longer be on ground to take up any job.
So
Because most of us are left actually are very elderly ones. So, like I said, it's a loss of the nation and loss of everybody.
so sir,
Yes,
what
sir.
what percentage do you think ASU can still manage with federal government considering the students right now? Because the
Actually, 100%, yes. Us cannot take less than 100%.
hundred
If
percent.
they beg us, maybe 80% of our current, but they will not take 50%. They will not even take 60. We might beg them to accept 80%, but we'll prefer 100. Anything below that, they should not offer us.
And you think federal government should be able to do that?
They have money. Are they not the ones that open their eyes and they allow people to steal money? Don't you hear how much people steal on a daily basis? There's oil theft that happens daily. We have a oil quota of about 1.8 million barrels a day, and at least 500 million barrels are stolen daily. They should go and block the wastage. They should go and borrow money. They have to borrow money. That's what we want. They get money to take care of themselves. They will get money for census. They get money for election. They get money to settle these legislators. Buhari has money to fly about. He has a fleet of planes. He could have even does not have a fleet of planes. He goes by commercial. The Prime Minister of England flies by British Airways. But Nigerian president has a fleet of planes. He should go and sell his planes so he can find money. He should go and look for money to pay us.
It is obvious from the volunteers who agreed to speak with us concerning the ongoing ASU strike that they are comfortable with the decision of ASU against the federal government. However, they do not deny the effects of the ongoing strike on their business activities, personal lives, and academic activities. They sincerely hope that the federal government and ASU can meet eye to eye to settle this matter amicably. I am Elizabeth Dairo, reporting for the Pendulum Media.